This is our big mistake, to think we look forward to death. Most of death is already gone. Whatever time has passed is owned by death. Seneca. Look back upon your life. All of those years you have lived, all of those hours given to you in abundance. How much of that time did you truly spend on what matters to you? How much went into self care, growth, and accumulating knowledge? And how much of it was squandered, wasted by talking to people you don't like, watching shows that add no value to your life, working jobs that lead to no satisfaction. Even when we know what we value, we are so quick to spend less time doing those things that bring us fulfillment for activities that are simply wasteful. You are not immortal. It's time to reassess how you are spending your time. This episode of Life Fulfilled, the podcast bringing together psychology and philosophy to enhance meaning in your life, discusses this very notion, the precarious nature of time. My name is Alina, and welcome to the beginning of the rest of your life. Think of all of the people who work until retirement, a 9 to 5, 5 days a week, spending endless hours on some menial task that they do not even truly care about. Well, if I could, I would ask them this. Who's to say you'll be well enough to enjoy life when you retire at 60? Who's to say you'll even be alive? Circumstances are bound to change, and the fact that you are spending 60 years of your life preparing for a day that might never come is simply illogical. You need to maximize your time, and you need to do it now. Robert Greene, the author of the best-selling book 48 Laws of Power, proposed two types of time: alive time and dead time. A lifetime is time where you are acting, learning, and growing, where you are making the most out of every second. You are contributing to inner fulfillment through every action or expanding your skill set. Dead time, on the other hand, is passive, wasteful, and biding. You take no action. You squander your time on things that do not inherently matter to you. We'd all like to think that we are maximizing our alive time, but this is simply untrue, especially in today's society. How often do you listen to others complain, engage with people you don't even like, scroll through social media, and compare yourselves to others? Every second that you engage in these activities is one that could be better spent. You may argue that in some cases, you don't have a choice of how you allocate your time. And that is true. Seneca acknowledges that life is often consumed by internal obligations. But when it comes to things like this, where you are choosing between nourishing your heart and soul and mind and wasting your hours away, the answer should be clear. Regardless of what you happen to be stuck doing, if you truly cannot cut it out, you can at least choose what to engage your mind in. You'll find that you can make use of your time in rather incredible ways. This is best told through the following story. Once, a young man was looking for a new job. Rather than choosing a job that led to deep work and a lot of pay, he chose a humble position as a patent examiner in the Swiss Patent Office, where he meticulously reviewed patent applications, a monotonous and rather uninspiring task. The pay was low and the work lacked intellectual depth. However, the job left him with extra time to think about his passion, theoretical physics. It was in this office that the young man had what he called the happiest thought of his life. If a person is in free fall, they don't feel their own weight. This is what led the young Albert Einstein to develop the theory of relativity. In 1905, often called his Annus Mirabilis, miracle year, Einstein published 4 important papers that transformed the field of physics, including his theory of special relativity, and he worked on parts of this from his office. The time that he spent in this job could have been wasted, lounging around the patent office, moping about the low pay. By taking initiative, however, Einstein redefined himself and the world of science. No matter what you are doing, it seems, you choose the extent to which your time is used actively. All time can be made into a lifetime if it is used in a manner that will contribute value to our lives, and there are opportunities for this everywhere. Having established this, let's get into the intricacies of time. The problem that Seneca finds with time is identified in his essay on the shortness of life. It's that time is intangible. Since we cannot see, feel, or hold time, it is difficult for us to attribute value to it, and we become quick to give it away. However, it's important to acknowledge that our time is the only thing that we truly own. We are born into this world to people that can be taken away, to work in jobs that we can be fired from, and to live in homes that can be destroyed. The only thing we choose for at least the duration of our existence is how we spend our time. The irony in this is identified by Seneca as he writes, people are frugal guarding their personal property, but as soon as it comes to squandering time, they are most wasteful of the one thing in which it is right to be stingy. Don't underestimate the importance of time, because it is the single thing that you have ownership over, and all of your other possessions that you can become so defensive of can be taken away. It's truly upsetting how quick we are to waste time. Forget others, you have chosen over and over again to participate in meaningless activities that hold no value to your life. Think about how you'd feel knowing you had a week left to live. Wouldn't you want to do more? Truly live? Those hours that you are so quick to get rid of are the same hours that you will never get back. So, yes, there is someone who is causing the deterioration of your time, and it's you. As of right now, you can change your behavior. The key to this is treating time like gold. You won't waste gold or give it away, at least not to people that you don't truly care about. You'll make most out of every piece that you have. Spend it to gain fulfillment, some on comfort and more in passion. Treat your time as you would treat treasure and guard it with your life. There is a simple exercise used to determine whether time is being used well. You ask yourself, if I did this activity for 10 hours straight, would it help me? How? Identify if it would help your mental health, important relationships, or lead to new knowledge and growth. Acknowledge that just because you are busy does not mean that whatever activity you are doing is worthwhile. If you cannot identify how something is valuable to you, do not do it. Trade it for something that is. So, now that we know how to identify dead time, how can we maximize our alive time? The first step is to understand what time is. It is akin to a flowing stream that never slows down in your perception, and the stream can stop suddenly without notice. Knowing this, you'll realize that it's best to make most of the journey while you can. The second step is to reconsider what is important to you. If something does not contribute value to your life, consider replacing it with something that does. It would be wise to make a list of your values and cross reference it with everything in your life. This way, you can see if the activities that you participate in truly align with your beliefs and values. Step 3 is find time for leisure. Seneca does not argue for endless productivity. In fact, he encourages leisure. He finds that leisure is more than simply idleness. It's time spent on activities that nourish the mind and soul, like reading or connecting with nature. This is spent on mental wellness, reflection, and enjoying the world around you. Regardless, Seneca states the best use of leisure time is philosophy. He says that by reading the works of philosophers, you gain their knowledge and insights, increasing your wisdom and annexing their years onto your own. Additionally, it is this deep reflection and consideration of life that makes it feel so incredible, something that will truly make life fulfilling. The fourth and final step is to consider the shortness of life. The richest people in the world would give up millions of dollars to save themselves if they were told that they would soon die. For 2 more months, even one, they would spend their fortunes away. After all, you can't take your money or fame with you when you're dead. Realizing this, think that maybe you have those 1 or 2 months. You are insanely lucky to have this time that people would pay millions of dollars for. Considering that maybe you don't have this time should motivate you to use every hour even more effectively. In spite of everything I have previously said, people feel comfortable where they're at. People feel comfortable wasting time, scrolling through social media, binge watching shows, talking to people they have no real interest in. It's times like this where it is essential to turn to the advice of John A. Shedd. A ship in harbor is safe, but that is not what ships are built for. You know what an effective use of your time is. You are made for maximizing each hour, not for wasting it away. If you continue to treat time so carelessly, do not blame others for your own inaction. In the end, when you are on your deathbed, do not wish for more time, because you had all of it, and you just didn't spend it well. Time can be cut short, but as you are living in this very moment, it is your own. You can change. Be the ship that sails. Seneca says, begin at once to live and count each separate day as a separate life. This practice by Seneca increases urgency in our everyday lives by allowing us to feel what it would be like if our lives ended that very day. We would want to spend our time more meaningfully, and we would allow ourselves to take the world in and truly appreciate what is around us. A similar practice is described by author Robert Greene in his book, The Laws of Human Nature. He asks that his readers meditate on their common mortality. By this, he means more than just addressing the fact that we will die, but thinking about it, envisioning it, trying to grasp what it could possibly feel like. Although we are not sure for certain what happens after death, we know that it is the end of this life. And this ultimately creates a sense of urgency for us, where we are more inclined to keep up with our long-term goals and stay consistent. Additionally, by meditating on the mortality common to all human beings, we are able to establish more meaningful connections with people as we realize that they too can die at any moment. Although these practices may be somber, they are important to developing a sense of urgency and reassessing your priorities in life. Upon realizing the fleeting nature of life, there is one practice that you can implement daily. It is by saying, if I wake up tomorrow, I will do this. For example, I could say, if I wake up tomorrow, I will start writing the next episode of my podcast because reflecting on philosophy concepts adds depth to my own perspective on life. By establishing a reason when you say the promise you are making, you are identifying what value that task will contribute to your life, therefore ensuring that it is an effective use of your time. Let's complete an exercise that is essential for you to understand alive and dead time. I'm going to say a specific scenario, and you think in your head or say out loud whether this would be an example of a live time or dead time. The first one is learning a new instrument. This is a lifetime because it contributes to new knowledge and growth. The second, complaining about work. As complaining does not fix any problems or lead to new growth, this is dead time. The third, waiting in line. The answer to this is it depends. Waiting in line mindlessly is dead time. However, recall the story of Albert Einstein. If you are developing some physics theory, or on a less genius level, practicing gratitude, planning a personal project, or contemplating philosophy, it is a live time. The fourth, meditating. When you meditate, you aren't exactly being productive. However, as Seneca understands leisure, it includes any time that contributes to wisdom, reflection, or growth. Meditation is known to be a time for reflection, and you can come to new learnings from it. Thus, meditation is an example of a live time. As they say, time is of the essence. It is your only true possession, so you must allocate it to things that you truly care about. Forget satisfying others. Forget about what the expectations are. The seconds are ticking down. Marcus Aurelius says, "Do not live as if you have 10,000 years left. Your fate hangs over you. While you are still living, while you still exist on this earth, strive to become a genuinely great person." He challenges us to confront the illusion of limitless time. Procrastination and distractions often stem from an assumption that there will always be a tomorrow. However, recognizing the shortness of life will compel us to act with urgency. There is more to life than just work. The focus of using time should be to align our actions with meaningful goals and values. By adopting this mindset, we can avoid wasting time on trivialities and instead dedicate ourselves to the pursuits that truly matter to us, ensuring that although we have a limited time, we have enough to live fulfilled. Thank you so much for listening to this episode. It was really interesting to consider all of the different nuances about time. If you enjoy this episode, please make sure to follow, comment, and also follow our Instagram. Until next time, keep living a life fulfilled.